Robin Mouton, and then we'll hear from Jefferson County Sheriff Zena Stevens.
Erica, thank you so much. I asked Sheriff Zena Stevens to join me up on stage because so often when we're out in the public, people ask me, hi Sheriff, how are you?
See, we're different people.
So my hair is cut a little shorter now, so I tell everyone, so since I've changed my haircut a little bit and I've gotten away from this longer cut, hopefully we won't get confused as much. So,
However, I take it as a compliment, guys.
Oh. So good evening. I am Mayor Robin Mouton, and I would like to welcome each and every one of you here tonight to our great city of Beaumont, Texas. It's an honor to stand before you and to see all of the beautiful women in the audience. Anytime women come together, we can do great things. As women, we do a lot of things. We carry a lot of weight on our shoulders. This is the medicine to our sickness. This is what gets us through everyday life. We need each other. There's nothing two women can accomplish by getting on the phone and just getting it out and discussing a problem. As girlfriends, we'll get it done, and we'll get it done together. Some stories make you laugh. Some stories make you cry. But through it all, you get it out of your system, and then everything is better. With that said, I would like to thank the Better Business Bureau for hosting this great event with some wonderful, wonderful women and honorees. We always lift each other up when we come together, when we're engaging, when we're empowering each other through mentorship and just plain old just sticking together as women. I would also like to congratulate all of the women of integrity and the honorees. You are truly a jewel in this community. Thank you so very much for your service. As I take my seat, I want to leave you with this. Love who you are and where you are at this moment. If you're not happy and you're not where you want to be, change it. You're the only one who can change your situation. My suggestion to you is just don't sit there, make the change so that you can enjoy every day of your life. Thank you.
Good evening. Are y'all enjoying this event? The breakout sessions all day today, I heard, have been wonderful. I've been really busy and hadn't had a chance to attend, but I was really excited to get the invitation to come and speak to you guys today. One of the reasons is one of the people that are being honored today is one of my sheroes. People don't know that, but Sally Broussard is someone who hired me, I don't know, 20 years ago, Sally? Longer? And so as I reflected about what it means to encourage and empower other women, she's a great example of that. It's important for me to be here because I had a whole bunch of sheroes who came before me. I never saw anyone who looked like me in a role of a sheriff, but I had a lot of people who came before me who did some great things. In my own family, many folks know I share a story about my grandmother who didn't have a third-grade education. She came from Louisiana, but she never preached hate or bigotry. She taught us to pull yourself up, work hard, get educated, and I never believed there was anything that I couldn't accomplish. Not ever. And so what I want to challenge each of you today as women in the audience, as mothers, as sisters, prop somebody up. Too many times when I travel through the community and I do mentorships, one of the things that I hear is how we tear each other down. I know some of my greatest opponents have not been men, have been women who want to see me fall, have been women who laugh if I'm not fly every day, if I don't have my hair combed or makeup. We need to recognize the important things. You never know what someone's dealing with in their own personal lives. I can share with you within the last couple of years, my mom, who will be 80 on the 23rd, suffered a rare form of cancer. My daughter lost 2 babies. I was dealing with indictments that I won, that I beat. And still showed up to work every day with a smile on my face and led almost 400 employees. That's what we as women do in our community. And when my husband wanted dinner, I still managed to get that done, even if I had to order it. And so what I challenge you is be a good role model, good example. I look out in the audience and I see young people like Dewana Jones and Kim, who I watch on the news. You're the next generation. And so be that role model. Set examples. Reach down and pick somebody up. Hire people. I have people who come into my office in house slippers, and literally, one of my employees is here. I had some lady come to my office for an interview in lingerie. And rather than laugh at her, I pulled her to the side and I told my people, let's educate them. Let's teach them, because sometimes there's a void in people's lives where they haven't been taught how you should dress for an interview. So as a powerful woman, and all of you are that, teach, train, educate, and lift them up. Enjoy this wonderful conference. I will be coming through tomorrow, but enjoy this wonderful conference. Lift up women, and remember, the next generation of mothers are going to be what we teach them to be. I have a new 8-month-old granddaughter, and my daughter is here. That's my legacy. It's the best of who I am is going to be who they turn out to be. I could succeed at that or fail, and so will you as mothers or grandmothers. Remember that. We don't have to be a part of all this mess that's going on across our country. I don't care what political party you're affiliated with. I get so sick of hearing all the negativity. And so when I come here and I see everybody in a room, no matter what race you are, no matter what religion, it's nothing but love and empowerment. Why can't we do that every day? And so I think as women, let's take over the world and spread the love.
Thank you so much, Mayor Mouton and Sheriff Stevens. Thank you. We really appreciate you. If there are any other elected officials in the audience tonight, please stand. We would like to recognize you. Okay, we're getting down to the good stuff now. We would like to recognize our leadership panel right now. Will you please come to the stage? We are going to discuss maintaining integrity through the bumps and roadblocks of your career path. Our panel, please come to the stage. We have Ladidra Jones, the Chief Technology Officer at Mobil Oil Federal Credit Union, and one of our sponsors for tonight's honoree programming. Cindy Perez, CEO of Cat 5 Resources. Cassie Jones, Business Unit Manager with International Paper. Don't they look lovely tonight? Casey Taylor, President and CEO of RT Technical. Regina Tate, Founder, President of New Path Therapy, and one of our sponsors for tonight's honoree programming. As you notice, we have one empty chair. And that empty chair is for one of you. The questions are on your table. Take a look at those questions. And if you feel like that you have something that you just must say that's relevant to the conversation that we are about to have, we would like one of you to come on stage right now and take the empty seat. I know there's got to be someone. Well, okay. All right. Come on up. All of us will encounter challenging situations throughout our careers that force us to decide to do the right thing. Those decisions many times have a long-term impact. Sometimes these situations cause a spur-of-the-moment choice that might not seem too big of a deal but could have gone a very, very different way. Through it all, leaders must maintain their integrity through developing trust and demonstrating competency. Tonight's panel will discuss how they've handled these challenging situations while maintaining the trust of their peer teams and clients. So the question is, how have you navigated power structures, organizational powers in the workplace? You can describe the different power structures you've encountered, like long-term or tenured employees versus being the new hire or new leader. That's one. Why it's important to you personally or professionally. How did you navigate power structures early in your careers versus later in your career when you had a more formal leadership role? Take it away.
Okay, I'll go first.
All right, I knew someone has something to say.
Alrighty, so again, my name is Cassie Jones, and I'm a business unit manager at International Paper. And one of the things that came to mind quickly when I read this or heard this question was the power structures when I first came out of college and I started into the workforce. I came into a workforce where there were a lot of tenured people, and age difference was a big factor in this. I was a new engineer coming in with people who had 20 years of work experience. And you may imagine when you have someone coming in, I'm feeling like I'm ready to contribute, to help, have lots of opinions, and not really a lot of people are wanting to hear all of those opinions that I had. So what I learned is that I needed to work on relationships, and I needed to be a good listener. And that has carried on throughout my career entirely, is that each time that I'm faced with a new obstacle, whether it's age disparity or a gender difference or just a difference of opinions or experience, it's about listening and giving the person an opportunity to express what it is that they're saying. And I need to understand and to take what they're trying to express to me in order to make sure that I can communicate with them what I'm trying to say. So it's like a relationship building that we do with one another, as well as making sure that you're using those active listening skills, because we all know that we can listen to respond, but not necessarily listen to understand. And I found that that was what helped me most when I was dealing with it early in my career and the age disparity, and then later in my career when I started to work with unions. So as I became into more leadership roles, formal leadership roles, I had oftentimes interactions with the union. And when the union you're dealing with the union, you're usually dealing with someone who has done something that they're in trouble for. And so that's another opportunity where you have to put aside those preconceived notions and use your active listening skills. And you're also building those relationships with the union representatives so that it's not a combative relationship, that you're really fostering a place to where you can make the company better for both the union and for the employees who work there. So again, just to round that out, relationships and active listening.
Thank you.
So, thank y'all for allowing just a random person to come up on stage and be with this lovely group of women. As I look out over this room, you know, I just reflect on the power that we have when we come together, even when we have different ideas of how to get to the same place. Like today we all came here, and some of us came from I-10 East, some came from I-10 West, some of us came through one door, another door, but guess what? We all got here. So there's often many solutions, many ways to get to the common goal. And in my family growing up, I was the middle child. So the middle child, are there any middle kids out there? So you already know you're either too young or too old for whatever is happening. But I came to be the peacemaker, the go-to person for conflict resolution, the leader of the pack when there was something that needed to be organized. And as I progressed in years, I became a studier of psychology and systems. Dr. Friedman is one of my favorite psychologists, and he talks about family systems. And when you talk about family systems, it really applies to all types of systems. So you identify the different types of personalities. And one of my favorite quotes is by Dr. Maya Angelou, and I don't think she's the originator of this quote, but she is the person that I received it from. People may forget what you say, people may forget what you do, but they will never forget how you make them feel. And so for me, it's always when I encounter someone, I want, when I walk away, that they feel empowered, they feel excited, and there are times when they need to feel rattled and shaken, and to be able to discern that, because we don't grow in our comfort zones. We grow when we're challenged. We grow when we're pushed. We grow when we don't get our way. We learn how to resolve concerns. So I'm pretty old, so I've had a lot of different careers, lots, and I've been self-employed, and right now I'm in a leadership position that has taken me to heights and depths that I never sought and maybe was not prepared for, but became very open to so many aspects of relating to people. And I have found when I listen more, reflect back what is being said to me, and think about what is my motive. What is the motive here? I tell my husband all the time, I'm not trying to be right all the time, I'm trying to be in relationship. And so let's get to the relationship. And that's generally, I apply that to every aspect of my life.
Thank you. Any more comments on this particular question? Thank you, Ava, so much. Pass it back to Mike. Okay, you may take your seat. Okay. We're looking for our next person from the audience to join us on stage. No, there's another one out there. Anyone? There's got to be another person. Okay, come on up. As LaDonna comes up to the stage, the next question, we often talk about the struggles of women in leadership. It typically leads to men versus women. However, I think we all know that that struggle can also be with other women. Describe any challenging situations you faced as a new leader. Then share with our audience one or more of the following. What strategies helped you move forward, or what relationships helped you when you were facing tough decisions? How important are independent, trusted advisors as a leader during these times? What best practices have you learned through your own challenges that now help to empower the entire team? Within your field now, how do you encourage these best practices with peers or coworkers?
Well,
I'm starting the clock.
look, that was a lot. So as a new leader in the job that I'm in now, I'm a newly elected precinct chair, right? And while I've been a precinct chair previously, as a small business owner, my industry was male dominated, right? So I work in transportation. Transportation is a male dominated industry. So I didn't really have a lot of pushback from women, but I did experience a lot of pushback from men. Like, why are you here, or you really shouldn't be here, or things of that nature. As far as my precinct chair job, though, there's been a lot of pushback from women and struggles and trying to overcome being a part of the group. We know that the mob is fickle, and oftentimes when you're getting into a group, you've got to be able to assimilate yourself. How can we be a better version of ourselves? I think throughout time, it's more important to let people know who you are and what your objectives are, and then you can kind of work around the parts of it that y'all struggle to. You know what I mean? It's a give and take, and a lot of it is compromise and being understanding. And oftentimes, as women, we've got to smile and kind of push through it. You don't get to kind of just, you got to do something. So when you got to do something, then you do whatever needs to be done. And that's just kind of been my philosophy in every aspect. And being a newly elected precinct chair, while they may have done it for years and years a certain type of way, when LaDonna gets involved, then you can please believe that the mechanisms and the practices will change, and it's going to kind of go the way that I got it going. So I don't know. I try to, in groups, be open-minded, but I'm very strong-willed, and I know a lot of women are, right? Because when we get it going in our head a certain kind of way, low-key, nothing can stop us. So you can kind of roll with it or get rolled over. That's really how I feel.
All right, one of our panel members.
I'll add to that. I'm Casey Taylor, and I have RT Technical. We are a measurement and electrical industrial contractor, and it's very male-driven. When I came to the business in 2010, I was told by the, at the time, owner, get ready. And so what I have found through my career is that you have to lead by example first. You have to know that if you are passionate about something, then your team is going to come behind you and understand that. And in order to step apart from others and have character and fulfill your integrity and build relationships all at the same time, sometimes we have to step out of our comfort zone. So as a leader at this point, and purchasing the company right in the middle of, the chaos that we've experienced the last few years, I think it took to a new level. Yes, we have to continue to strive. We have to continue to be positive. And more importantly, we have to lead by example so that the next generation understands that you can be a lady, you can be a leader, and you can always work for the common goal, whatever it is. My first part of my career, I was in the financial business. That was very women-driven. And so to step out of that into a male-driven experience, I think that you have to continue to push through with your goals, push through with your characters, and remember, at the end of it all, if you do not dream and you do not push forward, others won't. So fulfill your passions.
Excellent. Love it.
I'll add to that question if that's okay. So for me, Chief Technology Officer at Mobile Credit Union, as you can imagine, I have the opportunity of working with both male and female leaders all across the spectrum, all levels of leadership. And I think what has helped me to progress in my career, first and foremost, has been self-leadership. Am I doing the things consistently to grow and develop myself? Am I holding myself accountable? Am I exercising integrity in my decision-making process? But beyond that, I've realized that there is this interesting dynamic between male and female leadership. And I've had male leaders that, if I was presenting an idea, they would say, oh, great. you know, you have a great idea, let's roll with it, or I love it, that's why I pay you, and by the way, I'm smart because I hired you, right? On the other hand, I've experienced some female leaders that, for whatever reason, and I haven't done the research, I don't understand why as female leaders we sometimes feel this way, but it's, oh, your idea is better than an idea that I could have come up with, so I will look bad. And you're trying to make me look bad, which could sometimes create, you know, very interesting relationship. But again, I've seen both, and the way I've worked through that is, you know, understanding each other's perspectives, what the end result is, or what we're trying to accomplish, and making sure that, you know, we can somehow create a win-win. We're both on the same team, striving towards the same objective at the end of the day. And so that's worked for the most part. I would also say that relation building, and we've heard that a few times already, that's key. I think early in my career, I had my head down. It's like I gotta learn, I gotta grow. Yes, I want to advance, and that could come off the wrong way. You begin to be perceived as somebody that's standoffish, somebody that, you know, is just ambitious and pursuing their own goals. But once you start to make connections and be intentional about that, you realize that, you know, we all have lives outside of work. We all have different things that we're wrestling with, and we can relate to one another. And so once you establish those connections, it's helped tremendously.
Excellent.
I just, going from, well, I look at it from two ways. So dealing with people external to the company, dealing with men out in the field. I have some wonderful women that are in very high positions at different companies that are extremely good friends. There's no, we're business associates, we get business done, and we're friends. We can talk as friends, have that relationship. On an internal basis at the company, I could write a book about the ins and outs of building a corporate structure along with building relationships with your employees. And I've had more men come in my office and cry than I have women. And it's nothing again, I don't know why, but anyway, I've run out of Kleenex a few times, I'm just gonna say that. But I find that being a good listener and knowing that you need to build that relationship because you work with these people every day. And I think that working with people every day, you do build a friendship, but you have to do it to a point where they know that they have your expectations set and they know your expectations, but there is a friendship that's built. And then because it is, working with women, there's always drama that comes around. And that's what I could write a book about, is the drama that comes in and out of it, because I don't care what company you're in, I've never heard a story about a company that didn't have internal drama, and it was always surrounding women. I might have men come cry, but it's always the women that cause the drama, and it's sad because instead of tearing each other down, because that's what I will find, and it hasn't happened in a while. But I've had women just go at each other, and I've had to sit them both in my office and say, we're not doing this. If y'all want to do this, y'all can get your stuff and leave, because at the company, it takes too much away from what we're trying to do. It takes too much away from being a good leader and trying to set an example. And there's some people you just have to do away with at some point. But I think that the internal struggles, being the leader and setting that example is the only way to go, and making sure that you don't allow it, or allow very little of it, and squash it as soon as possible.
Hear that? No drama, ladies.
Yeah,
no drama. Okay, anyone else want to talk about
I
this?
do want to. Oh, I'm sorry. I do want to mention one thing. Is everyone aware that there are unconscious biases, right? We all have unconscious biases, and they're real. Gender biases are real, and as women, we can have gender biases. And what I've noticed as being a female in a male-dominated workplace, there's like this one spot or these few spots that are for women that we all feel like we're competing for. And that can create a weird dynamic amongst ourselves. And then having that bias where you're, as a woman, you're representing all the women in that space. So if she reacts one way, it's like it's a representation upon yourself. So that creates a weird dynamic. So I feel like we have to become aware that we are feeling those things, that we have those biases so that we don't allow them to control our behavior, and so that we can act differently when we see that they are impacting our emotions or how we are interacting with another person at a time.
Absolutely.
I think some of you may have been in our breakout session talking about relationships, and one of the things that I like to tell most of my women clients, I'm a mental health therapist, by the way, I tell them we're not competitive as women, we're comparative. And we stand and we compare to each other, and that's that part that creates that need to show you, one-up you on something, or because we're looking at, it could be something as simple as your shoes or your hair or something, like that. But if you have a better idea at work, or if you have, we just want to claw you down like we're the people at the bottom trying, and the female dynamic, But the rest of it, everyone said about the relationships and about connecting with that person and saying, you can't compete with me because I want you to win too, that sort of thing. So kind of reaching across and just saying, what's going on? What's happening with you? Where are you at? Building that relationship and connecting. That's one of our key words at our business is connect. It's one of our philosophies is we have to connect not only with each other, but with our clients, with everyone. And when you can do that, then it kind of breaks all those barriers down, and we don't have to compare to each other. So.
Okay, excellent conversation. Let's continue this conversation. Thank you so much, Madonna. We have time for just one more question. I know there's got to be another person in the audience that wants to come up here on stage and join our panel. Going once, going twice. Come on up. Thank you for joining the panel. Hello, great to see you.
Hello.
And our final question. As a leader, it is expected that you respect boundaries and responsibility given to others. In some cases, even though you may not totally agree with the changes in an organization, you are directed to implement new goals. Describe how your involvement or reaction to changing goals and strategies in your organization has impacted others. How would you coach a new leader on presenting new challenging goals to the team, especially when the team is expressing the frustration over change, right? And in what ways have you contributed to the success of new goals and challenges?
Oh my gosh, nobody wants to change.
Absolutely.
For me, nobody, you bring something out that needs to change and everybody's like, no, it's working. But I found that even if you set a goal or my team member set a goal, if you let them go and let them push through it, even if it's a mistake, if we've made a mistake, you fix it. I think failure is the number one teacher. And I think that, having people who set the goals, even if I set goals, I set wrong goals all the time for my people. And, they'll go try to figure it out or come back and go, no, that's not going to work. Okay, well, then we'll go a different direction. But I think being the support and just being there for somebody is the best thing we can do as a leader.
Well, right?
Yes.
My name is Zena Hughes, and I run a nonprofit organization. And a lot of times people don't think that nonprofits are businesses that have to be run like a business, but it is. So nonprofits were businesses. And for us, we had to go through a huge transition, and it literally meant an expansion. It meant changing services, and it required everyone to be on board. I really appreciate that question because one of the things that I had to give myself was permission to be the visionary leader that I was called to be, uncomfortable though it might have been, and put in place, this is where we're going. This is the steps that I believe we need to take to get there. Did I have to have someone behind me going, you did it, girl, good job, good job? Absolutely, but I think, to trust our own vision, to trust what we believe is the right thing to do or the proper steps to take, to chase that in spite of our own fear of what could happen. Because I find when I have allowed myself to be okay with the goals I've set and be okay with how people feel behind me, then the universe, God, Allah, whomever, always manages to slide in those pieces you need to validate that you're going in the right direction, or he allows you to fail really fast and you can move on to do something else without tarnishing your own belief in yourself. And so for women, I think one of the things I encourage and try to be supportive of is if it's your vision and you see it, then I'm all for it. And we have to support one another when those doubts and those little insecurities creep in when we're trying to progress forward.
Excellent.
Yeah, to that, I have a lot of my staff here right now, so they'll confirm this for you. But we change a lot at New Path. We have a lot of technology in mental health and in the medical fields that have come about the last few years, and so we've had to change technology-wise. I think at one point we had like 7 or 8 programs we ran just to get one client through the door. Yeah, it was kind of something like that. So right now we're in that place where we have to change again. What we chose last time didn't work, and so we have to go back and do that. And I can hear the groans and the moans like, oh my gosh, this is so much work. But as again, it goes back to my vision. I have to look at what is it that we're trying to do in the direction that we're trying to go as a company, and what's going to serve our client base the best and do the best for us. And they don't always see the full picture,
Right.
And it can cause some of those conflicts and that tension, and that not wanting to change. And nobody wants to change. I mean, that's the reality. We like to be comfortable, just sit in the same spot and everything's fine. But again, it goes back to that relationship and showing up and just hearing them out, listening to the process. Okay, this doesn't feel good. How can we change it, or what can we do, and help with the change process, versus just saying, no, this is how it's going to be and you're just going to change. I think that's part of what we do as owners of our company is we sit and we listen and we reflect and try to say, okay, how can we make this work for the whole team? Because there's 35 of us, so it's pretty hard to just change on a dime. It's a big ship now. It takes a long time to get it turned around. So, yeah.
What a great conversation. Thank you so much, panel, for joining us on stage. Another round of applause for our panel. Dina, stay. Okay, the moment has arrived. It's time for tonight's honorees, our 2022 Women of Integrity Award winners. Our honorees are selected based on their business leadership, community involvement, and relationship with BBB Southeast Texas. At this time, we'd like all of our previous honorees who are here tonight to stand and be recognized. And of course, this year, we also have several of our prior winners presenting the awards to this year's honorees. And Dina, she remained on stage because she is going to introduce one of our honorees tonight.
Perfect timing.
Yes, it was.
Good. Well, thank you, Erica, and I'm definitely honored to be here and to present to our first honoree, Miss Sally Broussard. Sally is a licensed marriage and family therapist in Texas and a nationally certified counselor. Before retiring earlier this year, Sally spent her 42-year career working in behavioral health with Spindletop and Baptist Hospital Behavioral Health Center. And we all know what a critical and important role that behavioral health has in so many lives right now. So just my thank you off the top and so much respect. She has been instrumental in bringing many new and innovative behavioral health programs and treatments to Southeast Texas and has served on many local boards, including both BBB, Southeast Texas Board of Directors, and as a BBB Foundation trustee. Her greatest passion has been to create and serve on the local critical incident stress management team since 1998. The team responds to traumatic incidents by providing debriefing to first responders and the community after a traumatic event. Sally proudly responded to Ground Zero several times during the tragic events of 9/11, where she and the team helped NYPD officers who were first dispatched to the site of the Twin Towers. Sally is married to Brian Broussard and has two amazing adult children, Brittany Swanson and Melanie Coates, and has the 5 smartest and cutest grandchildren in the world. I underlined it. Originally born in England, Sally proudly became a U.S. citizen 2 years ago. Congratulations. I'd like to welcome and bring to the stage Miss Sally Broussard, Women of Integrity. Who was that, Sally? And if you'd like to say a few words, thank you.
Put that down. I just want to look out for a second. Take a mental picture of this evening. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dina. Thank you so much to the Better Business Bureau. What an honor this is. I've been very proud to be affiliated with the BBB for many years on their board and in other activities. And I'm a firm believer in their mission and their goals, and so this is an extra honor to receive this award. Also, I only worked, in my 42 years of working, I only actually worked for 2 organizations. One was Spindletop Center and the other was Baptist Hospital. And both of those organizations are recipients of the BBB's Torch Awards. So I'm very proud of that because that means that they are organizations with great integrity. So that is even more special. If you don't mind indulging me, I just would like to introduce some people that are with me tonight and just tell you who is at my table. First is my amazing husband, handsome, amazing husband, Brian. Yay. He always introduces himself as Mr. Sally Broussard, but he's Brian. And he always supports me no matter what I do, and I'm so grateful. Also, I have with me my 2 daughters, Brittany and Melanie. They are my greatest achievement. They are smart businesswomen, they are incredible mothers, and they are just fantastic human beings. So. And then I also have with me at my table, I call them my elephants. They don't know that, but I'll tell you why. Some of these women have been my friends for over 40 years. And some of you may know the story about that Jen Hatmaker tells about elephants in Africa. And it's not just at my table. I mean, there's women out here that I see that are just mentors to me, Zena, friends, I mean, just amazing women who are out here. And you are all elephants. In Africa, when a female elephant is in trouble, injured, giving birth, all the female elephants in her tribe gather around her in a circle, facing out and protect that one elephant in the middle. they blow their trumpets, they stomp their feet, they kick up dust, and they let any predator know that you dare not come through this 30 tons of elephant and protect this female. And we all have all taken our turn in the middle, and we've taken our turn on the outside. And thank you, elephants. So women, professional women, if you don't have your own tribe of elephants, get you some like mine. They are amazing. And thank you so much for this incredible honor. It's such a privilege to be here, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you very much.
I love that. Elephants. I love that. Next, Rebecca Maxwell, another 2019 Woman of Integrity honoree, will present our next honoree.
Good evening. I'm happy to present a 2022 Woman of Integrity Award to Miss Kimberly Rusley. If you would start making your way up to the stage. Kimberly is an award-winning journalist and the main anchor for KFDM 6 in Beaumont. Kimberly was promoted to that position just this month, right? October? Last year, October 2021. Kimberly has 12 years of experience in the industry, working in multiple states and as many strong women wearing a variety of hats. While her reporting career began in 2017 at KATV in Little Rock, Arkansas, it was in 2008 at KSLA in Shreveport where Kimberly started in the television industry. She was hired as a production